Welcome to the American Manifesto podcast. I'm Lukim, your host, and this is where we dive deep into the issues impacting our democracy. Today, we're talking about a recent controversy involving CBS, Stephen Colbert, and the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC. It's a story that highlights the ongoing battle for free speech and press freedom in the United States. Let's get into it. On Monday night's Late Show, Stephen Colbert made headlines by defying CBS's instructions and disclosing a censored interview with Texas State Representative James Tallarico, a Democratic candidate running for U.S. Senate. The interview was already recorded, but CBS lawyers stepped in and told Colbert's team not to air it. When Colbert found out he wasn't allowed to even mention the interview, he decided to break the gag order and talk about it anyway. According to reports, CBS lawyers contacted Colbert's team and explicitly stated that the interview with Tallarico wouldn't air due to new FCC guidelines. These guidelines were issued by FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, who recently revoked a 20-year-old precedent that protected political interviews on talk shows. The move is seen as a direct attack on late-night television hosts who often critique the current administration. But the story doesn't stop there. After being told not to air the interview, Colbert was then instructed not to mention it at all. Instead of complying, Colbert used his platform to challenge the FCC's decision. During the show, he spent several minutes criticizing Carr and the FCC's actions, calling Carr a smug bowling pin and jokingly saying, "FCC you." Can you believe that a major network like CBS would censor an interview just because it might include criticism of the president? It's a stark reminder of how easily media outlets can be manipulated by those in power. The weaponization of regulatory bodies like the FCC is a serious concern. In January, Chairman Carr issued a letter revoking the bona fide news exemption, which had protected political interviews on late-night and daytime talk shows for 2 decades. His justification? Some shows were supposedly motivated by purely partisan political purposes. Translation: they criticized Trump. This isn't the first time the FCC has targeted critical voices. Last year, ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel Live from its airwaves for nearly a week after Carr suggested the administration could punish the network for remarks Kimmel made in a monologue. Just this month, the FCC opened a formal probe into ABC's The View over an interview with James Tallarico. Carr had signaled his intention to target The View months in advance during a podcast appearance. This isn't regulation. This is a hit list. It's clear that the goal is to silence anyone who speaks out against the administration on TV. As Colbert pointed out, Donald Trump's administration wants to silence anyone who says anything bad about Trump on TV because all Trump does is watch TV. But why would CBS go along with this? The answer lies in the complex relationship between media companies and the federal government. CBS paid Trump a $16 million defamation settlement last July, and the network is now controlled by David Ellison, a Trump ally. Additionally, CBS's parent company, Paramount, is in the middle of a merger with Warner Bros. Discovery, a deal that requires federal government approval. This isn't a news organization making editorial decisions. It's a corporation protecting its interests. FCC Commissioner Ana Gomez, the commission's lone Democrat, called it another troubling example of corporate capitulation in the face of this administration's broader campaign to censor and control speech. Isn't it ironic that the party that ran against cancel culture is now trying to control what we watch, what we say, and what we read? Corporate media executives are selling out the First Amendment to curry favor with corrupt politicians. This is exactly what Tallarico warned about in the interview that CBS didn't want you to see. Despite CBS's attempts to censor the interview, it ended up going viral. Colbert posted the full interview to his YouTube page, and it quickly gained over 2.1 million views, far surpassing the 93,000 views of the Jennifer Garner segment CBS aired instead. The Streisand effect was in full force. The FCC's actions are part of a broader trend of authoritarian tactics. By targeting specific media outlets and silencing critical voices, the administration is attempting to shape public discourse and control information. This is particularly concerning given the role of the media in holding power accountable and informing the public. The FCC's decision to revoke the bona fide news exemption is a significant departure from previous practices. For decades, this exemption had provided a safeguard for political interviews on talk shows, allowing them to be considered news rather than entertainment. This distinction was crucial for maintaining the integrity of political discussions on late-night television. However, Carr's justification for revoking this exemption is deeply flawed. He argues that some shows are motivated by purely partisan political purposes, but this is a subjective standard that can be easily manipulated. The real motivation behind Carr's actions appears to be a desire to protect the administration from criticism on TV. The implications of this decision extend beyond just The Late Show. Other networks and programs that rely on political interviews could also face similar restrictions. This could lead to a chilling effect on free speech and a narrowing of the range of opinions expressed on television. Moreover, the FCC's actions are not limited to broadcast television. They are also targeting cable networks and online platforms. The View, for example, faced a formal probe from the FCC demonstrating the administration's willingness to use regulatory power to silence dissenting voices across various media channels. What does this mean for the future of journalism and free speech in the United States? Are we witnessing the erosion of fundamental democratic principles? The FCC's actions are part of a larger pattern of attacks on the press and free speech. The administration has consistently sought to undermine independent media and control the narrative. This includes not only regulatory actions, but also legal challenges and threats against journalists and news organizations. The consequences of this trend are far-reaching. A free and independent press is essential for a healthy democracy. Without it, citizens are deprived of vital information and diverse perspectives, making it easier for authoritarian leaders to manipulate public opinion and consolidate power. The response from the media industry and civil society has been mixed. Some networks have pushed back against the FCC's actions, while others have complied out of fear of retaliation. This divergence highlights the complex dynamics at play and the challenges facing those who seek to defend press freedom. It's crucial for citizens to remain vigilant and engaged in this issue. Supporting independent media and advocating for policies that protect free speech are key steps in countering these authoritarian tendencies. The fight for a free and open media landscape is ongoing, and it requires sustained effort and commitment from all of us. This isn't just about one controversial interview or one comedian's defiant act. It's about the broader struggle for democratic values and the right to speak freely and openly. The FCC's actions represent a threat to the very fabric of our democracy, and it's up to us to push back against these efforts to silence dissent. This isn't an isolated incident. We track stories like this using the fascism syndrome, a set of 10 indicators that a democracy is sliding into fascism. This situation checks off several boxes. Capture of the state, an independent agency doing the president's bidding. War on reality, only censoring Democrats and calling it equal time. Consolidation of economic power, CBS needing federal approval for a merger, so CBS complies. Aggression as virtue, Kimmel polled, The View probed, Colbert censored, criticized the president, and your network pays. Silence critics, punish networks, weaponize regulators, that's not protecting the public interest, that's fascism. But we didn't build this publication to watch the collapse, we built it to fight back. Make sure to check out our Substack at americanmanifesto.news, where we bring you the frameworks, messaging, and strategies to push back against fascism. Sources are available in our original article.